Hello everyone, this is Parag Prasad. This is a very quick update from my Plan Don't Panic webinar 2 weeks ago. What I've done is collated 4 key observations that I'm making at the moment about some of the things that businesses have been doing during the current crisis, and 4 real potential mistakes that you could be making in these areas. So I just wanted to highlight those to you to make sure that you're not making the same mistakes as well. The first thing I want to talk about is mentality, really. And one thing that Roger Bannister here in the picture taught us is that Roger Bannister obviously broke the 4-minute mile, and he was told by everyone in his profession, the medical profession, all his peers, that running a 4-minute mile was physically impossible. And yet Roger Bannister had a very different belief system. And I think belief in what is achievable and what is possible at the moment is absolutely critical. And what I'm seeing is a few businesses starting to walk around feeling defeated, feeling like they're powerless and that there's nothing that they can do to rectify this situation or even this year. And really, you can't imagine a professional athlete starting the game and thinking, well, we're not doing very well at the moment and I don't fancy our chances today. Well, that mentality will only lead to defeat. And it's the same in business. All the most successful business people understand that they have to be in control of the mentality and focus on what they can control and influence, not what they can't. And the belief system is absolutely critical here. You have to believe in what's possible. None of us know what's coming up next week, next month. We can't know that. We can't know that there's not going to be any opportunities. You just can't know that. But by having that sabotaging belief system, you've lost before you've even started. And I love this quote from Henry Ford: whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. And I think that's absolutely right. There's those who are setting themselves up to give themselves a chance of surviving and then thriving, and those who are setting themselves up for something else. So be very conscious of your mentality and whether it's serving you or sabotaging you at the moment. Okay, that's my first point. The second thing I'm seeing, and this is a biggie, of course, and this is all about the government and their recent measures, of course, to help support businesses and the money they're putting out there, which is great. But what I'm observing, and this may even be a bit controversial to some of you here, but what I'm observing is a lot of businesses who are almost having their hopes raised by these packages and just assuming that the government packages is the silver bullet to get them out of their troubles. And what they're not doing is necessarily taking self-responsibility for the situation, because at the end of the day, the government are not responsible, nor can they single-handedly save your business. And there's only one person that can really do that, and that's yourselves, of course. So it's about appreciating here that the responsibility is all yours to make the changes and do what you need to do to improve your business. And furlough is a good example of that. A lot of people saw the announcements about furlough and thought, great, let's do this. This is our way out of this. And then even last week, I ran a webinar with our clients, and we were talking specifically about furlough. And there were just so many questions, so many things people didn't understand. And it's critical that you, first of all, understand the rules of furlough and whether you can actually abide by them or not. Because if you do not, then you could find yourselves in trouble when this all calms down. There will be audits, and you will not escape the government if you've fallen foul of their rules. And 2 massive misunderstandings I've seen over the last few weeks. Number one, what can team members do if they're on furlough? And a lot of people still thinking they maybe can work with customers in some capacity or do some marketing in the background and stuff like that, social media posts. And no, they can't. Generally, the government has said anything that's revenue generating or can be deemed to be revenue generating is not acceptable. So there's a lot of things that they can't do, and those rules need to be clear to you, and you are going to have to invest some time understanding that and understanding the fact there isn't a lot they can do. Secondly, a lot of people have not accounted for the fact that the money will take some time to get to you, and no one knows how long that will be. But I think we've got to be prudent, and the money, the money has to be administered. These schemes have to be set up. There's hundreds of thousands of businesses looking for this help. It's not going to happen overnight, of course. It could take 2-3 months. We could be into June before, possibly July, before you actually see that money. So, and if it comes earlier, great. But you have to think the worst case scenario and say, well, what if it doesn't? How am I going to fund these people's salaries if they're on furlough? So understanding that and building that into your cash flow forecasts, so that you understand that yes, you are going to have to pay that money out before it comes back in. So there are two big areas that I've seen misunderstood about furlough, and there's also loads of other details that you need to get your heads around. But just generally, this attitude of the government packages are there to save us. I think the government packages are extremely useful, but they are not the sole source that is going to save your business at the moment. And we've got to look at ourselves as the first and foremost way of doing that. Now, the third possible mistake I'm seeing with businesses at the moment, and I know this because we have a lot of clients who are actually marketing companies and marketing agencies, and all of them have told me and the team that their income is going down, their clients have ceased campaigns, and fees are being reduced. So it's clear that businesses are cutting back quite heavily on their marketing. And that could be a big mistake. Obviously, if you've got marketing that's not delivering on return on investment, then yeah, of course you need to be cutting back on that. But this is not the time to go invisible as a business. There's so much that you could be doing at the moment to build great relationships with your current and future customers. This is the perfect time to do that. Of course, marketing needs to shift in its focus, and the content that you're putting out there needs to reflect that. But think about this opportunity that you have to build stronger relationships with current customers, but also with prospects that maybe you've already got in your sales pipeline, and also with potential future partners, people who are non-competing businesses who could be referring you work in future. And those relationships take time to nurture and build. This is a great time to do that. You should also be planning what you should be doing with your marketing, even if it is at a lower level. What content is going out online, how often, which platforms, who's responsible, what's going to happen each week, what's our tone, what's our message, what's the value that we're offering with our marketing. All that needs to be clear and planned out. As I said, you can't be invisible. When things go back to normal, there's going to be huge opportunities in many, many sectors. And it's too late then to try and kickstart your marketing and get back in the game. The work's going to go to those who've already nurtured those relationships over time and are ready to take on those opportunities. The other thing I'm seeing that people are neglecting at the moment is looking at things like referrals. When you're having those conversations and really working closely with your customers, seeking referrals, working on referral schemes, referral processes. How can you actually secure more referrals? Even if they're not live now, can you be doing work on those systems, lining those up for the future? That's a big area of marketing that everyone should be doing. I know a lot of businesses I coach are not proactive with seeking referrals. And I want people to be more proactive, especially if you know your customers love you. It's got to be a key part of your marketing strategy at the moment. So that's the third area I want to talk about. And fourthly, and finally, but certainly importantly, is what you're doing in terms of managing yourselves at the moment and how you're getting the best out of yourself and how that translates into business results. And that really is three key areas. First of all, how are you looking after yourself, your health, your diet, your sleep, your stress levels, and what are you actually doing to self-manage? And we talked more about that on my previous webinar as well. Secondly, if you are feeling pressured and stressed and even overwhelmed with everything that you need to think about at the moment, you need that plan. The plan that I took you through in the last webinar, we've now helped 78 businesses build that plan for the next few months, their survival plan. We're doing it with a load more businesses next week as well. So it's critical that if you are feeling this way, you have a clear action plan of what is it you need to be doing every week over the next few weeks to really manage this challenging period and get through it. The third thing you need to be doing, other than that, managing yourself, managing the plan, and thirdly, managing your diary. Are you clearly defining your diary? We call it a default diary. Do you know where the boundaries are in your diary? I'm seeing a lot of blurring going on. People at home, part of the time they're working, it's blurring into family time and personal time. There doesn't seem to be clear boundaries, clear start times, clear end times, when you're working, when you're definitely not working, when you're switching off, when you're taking time for yourself, when you're working on your business, when you're doing some of this marketing stuff, when you're doing all the other things you need to. That all needs to be clearly planned in your diary, because the old routines that we all had a few weeks ago have shifted. So your diaries need to shift to reflect that new reality, and you do need to sit down and really think about that and plan that out. So there you go, guys. A very quick digest of 4 key areas that I want you all to be aware of, and I want you all to think about where might you need to improve and avoid some of these mistakes so that you can continue to manage your way through this and thrive thereafter. I really hope that's been useful, and I wish everyone a safe and happy and healthy few weeks. See you again soon, guys. Thank you.